problem putting them on. They want to go on pretty easy. And what we're going to do is feed that pipe through that little bridge again, and then it's going to be coming out that way. So let's just feed that under there. Get the tweezers. There we go. Instruction 9 and 10. So if I just get 2 screws out. There we go. Make sure that goes in. There you go. That side's in. Of course, that's probably going to keep dropping out until it all gets tightened up. Like so. But that's how that's going to look, guys, in the engine bay. And that is it for this week's issue. There's a lot going on here. This thing is coming back into play. It's the engine, the db5. So we've got 3 of them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. So let's get those put in. We've got to carefully take the engine, guys, and feed it through. It's like bringing it to life now. This is amazing. So if I just bring this round, I'll just bring this green pipe up. Feed it, you'll see the birds go in those grooves. And then what we're going to do is tilt it down like that. And then we're going to attach the back of the steering column into that part of the steering column. But just before we do that, hey all, and welcome back to the channel, Rich43. Hope you're all doing good, guys. Hope you're all well. Here I am again with the db5 from Agora models. Guys, this week is going to be a very exciting and busy video. Can't wait to bring it to you. I'm just doing issue 63. I was going to do 2 issues, but when you see what's going to be involved with this week's video, guys, you'll understand why I'm only doing 1 issue. But let's put it this way, by the end of this video, it is going to be looking more like a car than it ever has done. That's all I'm saying. So if you're not already subscribed, guys, remember to subscribe, like, also comment and share. Press that bell notification not to miss out on the db5 or anything else on the channel. But without further ado, guys, it's going to be a busy one. Let's crack on with the db5 from Agora models. Here we are in 4K. This is the issue we're doing today, 63. And as you can see, there's a lot going on here. This thing is coming back into play. It's the engine, the db5. So I'm just going to place that to the left of me. And we've also got this thing here, the firewall, which is what's been going on the last couple of issues, guys. This video is a massive video, guys, so I'm going to not hang about and just crack on. So if I just move these parts to one side, and I'll bring over issue 63 pack. Let's get this undone and see exactly what we've got in today's pack. There we go. It's all empty. Let's go through quickly what we've got. Now, I think this was supposed to be holding this mesh. So we've got that part there, which is 63E. That's down to the being called the air filter grill. We've got a number of screws here, as you can see. So we've got PS14, DS02, DS20, and PS05 screws. And then also here we've got the 63A part, which is the air filter housing. That's plastic. 63B, which is the air filter housing top. Take it, that's going to go on top of there, something like that. We've got what parts we got here? 63C. That is a pipe. It's also plastic, and that actually does bend a little bit, guys. Mate. We've got this part here, which is plastic 63D. That's the air filter mount. And then we've got 63F. 63E was the mesh grill, as I mentioned earlier. We've got 63F, which is the tank pipe. And we've got these things here, which is on some sort of little sprue, and you've got numbers on here, 1, 2, 3, which I would have thought that would come into use in the issue. 63G, that is the wire bracket, and there's 3 of those. So that's the parts. Let's get cracking, guys. You'll see what I mean. This is a big issue. Sit back, relax. Okay then, so instruction 1 to 2, the air filter mount, and then this mesh. So what we're going to do, be careful as well, guys, because this can be very sharp. We want to put this around like so. Pretty cool. And then that's instruction 1. For instruction 2, we want to take these 2 pins, push those into those 2 holes there, and you've got like a little rib around there. If you can see an indent, that theoretically should just fit over this mesh we've applied. And when you're happy, might take a bit of persuading to put in. There you go. What you do find is that shouldn't be overlapping. As you can see, that's just a flush fit there. If you overlap it like I did, it will not fit either side of those lids. But if you just let it go, it does slot into place, as you can see. So that's how that's looking. Pretty cool. And that takes us all the way to instruction 3. So instruction 3, we're going to apply 2 PS 14 screws into those holes there to join these parts together. Now I'm hoping that's not going to pop off. No, that's cool. So PS 14 screws, got a few of these, so I'm sure we're going to be using these a lot. So we need 2 of these. There we go. Get my db5 screwdriver. Push it the way. And then what we're going to do is screw these 2 parts together, top and the bottom. Just in those holes, so I'll just start those off. That's where we're screwing there, guys. Just being mindful as well, also just to keep those pieces with a little indent with the mesh inside together. Now put the second screw in, the second PS 14 screw. Now to save life on this screwdriver, you will see me using a different screwdriver. Just save the teeth on it, that's all. So yeah, screw those nice and tight. Yeah, I'm not sure how big this video is going to be, to be fair, but boy, as I've looked at it, it's going to be a pretty massive video today, guys, which I'm excited about. So yeah, you're screwing into plastic, so just be careful not to wet the thread, but as you can see, that's nice and tight now, all done. Now to instruction 4, we want to take this part here, this is 63D, and what we're going to do is we're going to place this, turn that upside down there. You've got 2 little pins here. They basically just go over there like that. And then you're going to have 2 holes there where we're going to have to screw those in, I would have thought. So you place that there, just like so. That's instruction 4. And then for instruction 5, we need 2 more PS 14 screws. Yeah, I was right, we're going to put those into there. So I'll just place that there a second. Then we'll get 2 PS 14 screws and get that screwed together. Yeah, first one there. Started that one off. And the second one to this hole here. So yeah, we'll screw those in nice and tight. and then we're moving on to instruction 6. That's all nice and tight. One more. And now for instruction 6, move that PS14 screw out of the way. We want to take this little pipe, and as you're looking at it like that, I'll show you that way. You've got these pieces here. You want to just push that in to that little rectangle hole just there. So I'm just double checking I've got that right. Yeah, so that's how that's going to look. Just give that a nice push, persuade that to go in. It's only soft plastic, so you shouldn't be too difficult to push in. There you go, that's gone in. And that's how that's looking at the end of instruction 6. Pretty cool. So let's move on to instruction 7. Now for instruction 7, you want to take these 2 pins there and apply those to the 2 holes we've got just there, where it's easy enough done for the right way round, guys. You've got a little one there and a big one, and a little hole and big hole there. So it's basically a matter of just pushing that into position like so. Then I'm going to turn it over. There's the bottle I should have kept safe a long time ago. I'll pick that up in a bit. And we're going to apply 2 PS14 screws into those holes there. So let's get the first one. Yeah, in the last, I think it was the last time we did this build, it did say store that bottle safe as it will fall out. Me not listening, left it, and now it's gone halfway across the studio. Not to worry, I'll find it in a minute. Keep on going with this build, as this week it's a very busy issue, guys. So yeah, that's those 2 started off. Let's get those nice and tight. This is basically putting the air filter into place, guys. It's looking pretty cool now, this build, and it's going to look really cool by the end of today's video. You'll know what I mean at the end of it. Now, hopefully, it's going to get some subs to follow me along with this build. Some new subscribers, hopefully. But there we have the air filter fitted. Looking pretty cool there. And it's been attached now with some PS14 screws. And that's taking us all the way now to the end of instruction 9. And now we'll go into mounting the engine. Now, instruction 1, it's telling us, guys, let me just say this as well. There's going to be a lot of side little instructions to this week. It's all under issue 63, but there's so much going on. Trust me, you'll know what I mean. We'll carry on through this. Anyway, back to where we are now. We've got this part 63F, and this is align the tank pipe with the tank. So bring this back over, and what we want to do is, you've got a hole that side and a hole this side. Now looking at the instructions I've got here, there's only one side will fit. There's one was bigger than the other. I'm just checking if it's a D shape as well. No, so that should just go over there. It only goes on one way, so it must have some sort of D shape in there, because that would only go on one way. And that's also in instruction 2, talking about that D shape in the pipe. Just make sure you've got it the right way around before you push it onto that tank there, or else it won't go on. So yeah, that takes us all now to instruction 3. And now what I've got to do is bring the chassis over. Now, as you can see here, guys, we've got the front end of the model, so where the engines are going to be going. Instruction 3, we did this part basically in stage 42, which is a few issues ago. A few stages ago. I know I keep saying different stage issues, just more, I used to call them issues. I should stick to that, shouldn't I? Basically, we've got to get the steering column and push it over to this side, so that's the right hand side of the model. And now there's 2 holes here, which is going to be to put the engine in, which I would have thought we'll be doing. Got 2 holes here, which is where we're going to be applying and attaching the engine bay shortly. Well, very shortly. Next, that takes us all the way to instruction 4. So we'll just lean over, and here we have the engine bay, guys. And what we're going to do now is turn that way around, so it's got the firewall here towards the inside of the car, and this is going obviously to the front. What we have to do is just basically place this over as I stand up. Remember, it does keep coming apart at the minute, so you might have to push that back in together. Right, so I'm just carefully posing up, but here you can see there is like a little place where the steering column's going to go, so it's got to be sitting there, obviously, or else it's not going to fit all together. So what we're stuck on here, there we go, that's a bit done, there we go, that's all fitted. Brilliant. And you can see here the steering column's sitting very nicely indeed. Right, so that's that put into place, and then we move on to instruction 5. Again, we've already done that. That's just making sure that the steering column is in the right position, which it is. And if I turn it around, you can see from that side it's in the right position there, all sitting nicely and in the position it's meant to be in. So yeah, let's make us move straight on now to the next instruction, instruction 6. Now we're going to attach this, guys, and screw this all together with some DS02 screws, and we're doing that with 3 of them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. So let's get those put in. So yeah, let's get this attached, guys. Very exciting. What I'm going to do as usual, use the db5 screwdriver and then tighten them up with another screwdriver. Now, you know, I said this is a very busy issue. Exciting, very exciting. It's actually starting to look like the db5 now. So yeah, I'm putting all these in, and then I'll tighten them up shortly once I've got them all lined up. Brilliant. So I have 2 more to put in. So yeah, all these are in now. These 6 DS02 screws. Now I'm going to tighten those up, guys, and then we've got all that engine mounting all done. So I'll tighten those up and we'll move on to instruction 7. Now, I'm excited for instruction 7 and 8. We've got to carefully take the engine, guys, and feed it through. It's like bringing it to life now. This is amazing. So if I just bring this round, I'll just bring this green pipe up, feed it through like so, and then attach that to the transmission, which should theoretically just, might have to turn it a little bit, maybe it should fit. There we go. Beautiful. Wow. Just a quick look at that, guys, just to give you, my god, amazing. I will be showing you an outro at the end of this video, but look at that. It's got the heart of it in this db5. So cool. Now, before we move on, what we should do, I must say, you might have to pull it back off the transmission. I'm getting ahead of myself there. We've got to just attach these 2 pipes together. So there we go. It's got to go back in there. There you go. And then you can put it back together, so it all should be secure. No glue needed, but that's how it's looking. So that's the pipe I just fitted. Now it's attached to the engine. Oh, I can't believe that. It's brilliant. That takes us all the way to instruction 9. So let me just scroll down on instructions. And then we need a DS2 screw. So we've got to carefully turn this upside down, which I hate doing this. I really don't like doing this. We've got it up. It's okay. It's okay. This is where you could damage anything underneath or on top of the engine. That's the trouble. So now we've got to put a DS02 screw just in there to keep the engine just there with the transmission. So we've already opened the DS2 screw pack. I'm just keeping mindful of my microphone As you guys know, sometimes they go flat because these videos are pretty long, so I'm just checking I'm alright for now. So screw that in there. Hold underneath because you don't want to damage anything going on the top of the engine. So yeah, screw that nice and tight. That's gone in beautiful. That's the end of instruction 9. Now for instruction 10, what we're going to do is get 2 PS05 screws and also attach this part of the engine to the chassis. Again, just be careful if you put pressure on to screw the screws in, guys, that you don't damaging, or you're not damaging, should I say, anything on the top of your engine. So just go careful. So we'll just tighten those up. It seems surreal with this far of putting the engine in, to be fair. I thought this time would never come. Before you know it, it'd be all the bodywork and etc. all that good stuff. Brilliant, that's nice and tight. Just a quick tip as well, guys. I was worried that this part of the build was a bit shaky and loose. Look at that, it's not now. It comes into play. Trust the process. That is solid as a rock now. The engine has supported that. Now I might have to turn this back in a minute, but I'm going to turn it this way because I feel safer that I'm not damaging any of the top of the engine. Look at that, guys. That's so amazing. I'm not going to harbour on that. Let's crack on. Move on to the next instruction, 11. Now for instruction 11, 12, you've got to take this little green pipe. Use tweezers if you need to, guys, and attach this to this part here. Doesn't take to use glue, but down to your discretion if you want to. It should be alright, to be fair, once you've got it into position. That's in, nice and secure. Just give that a nice, no, it's not, I thought it was, but it's not. So yeah, you're going to push that into there, and then also we're going to be putting this pipe, which I'm going to do first because this looks simpler to put in. Push that over there, over the pipe we did earlier. That's that one done. And this one seemed a bit more tricky. Now that one's coming off the engine, which I thought I should have glued that at an earlier date. We'll see how we go on. So this has got to go into this hole here, which is easier said than done. I think once it goes in we'll be fine, but it's just getting it in. Dare I say I've got that in? Yeah, all good. So yeah, that's the 2 pipes in, guys. We've got that pipe there, and then we've got the black pipe going into that piece there. That takes us all the way to the end of instruction 12. So moving on to instruction 13. So 13, we've got to take this pipe and apply that to this piece, this little pin here. There you go. Simply done. And that's the end of instruction 13. Look at this, guys, the detail, this is amazing. Now for instruction 14, we need to get this pipe here at the back of the firewall and attach it to this other pipe. Just here. Bear with me if you can't see because my hands, guys, I will move in a second and show you what I've done. There we go. Carefully push that on there like that. Yeah, that'd happen to come off this side, not to worry. There we go. And that's how that's looking at the end of instruction 14. And then when you're happy with putting that pipe onto that little T-clip there, just push it and tuck it under there on the firewall, and that's all done. And now we're moving on, guys, to fitting the interior floor. Brilliant. So if I just move this round, bring the interior floor over. Now this could be a bit more trickier, as you can see. We've got wires everywhere, so let's crack on with the first instruction. Now, the first 5 instructions of this part, guys, what you've got to do is get the wiring each side of this floor and put it under the firewall, like so. and you've got some little grooves on the floor, which you'll see the garage go in those grooves. And then what we're going to do is tilt it down like that, and then we're going to attach the back of the steering column into that part of the steering column. But just before we do that, what you're going to do is put these 4 wires just in that gap there where you've got the transmission. So that's got to go be fed, all that's got to be fed underneath like so. And then again back to the front of it, put all those wires like that, and carefully put it into the position. Just be careful, you've got our sneaky wires coming out like this, so we'll have to lift that back up, push them through the centre of the chassis, and then it should all fit where it needs to be. These things are always tricky at first, guys. What you're going to do is try and get it under the firewall, and then it should all fit into place without any issues. So if you've got to keep pushing forward until you get it slotted in. Might just pull these wires down out of the way so you don't pinch anything. There we go. There we go. So done. Now, this has obviously got to be moved forward a bit more so we can fit it where it needs to be. There we go. I think we're getting there. There we go. Lovely. At the same time, being mindful that that ejector seat doesn't ping off in my face. But yeah, that's roughly where you want it. I'm just going to flip it over now, check all the wires are in the right positions, and then we'll keep moving on. So that's how we're looking at the minute, guys, and it is supposed to be a bit of a slant at the minute, like that. Just make sure, this is instructions 5 and 6, by the way, where we are now. You've got the steering column, etc., all lined up, and that's how we should be looking. Your wires should be in like the little grooves at the front under the firewall. On the left, you've got 3 wires, and on the right, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wires. Just double check that's right. Yeah, I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to move on to instruction 7. And now zooming on straight to instruction 7, we're going to turn this build out, guys, and put 4 PS05 screws into these holes. You can just see, just here, one there, one on the opposite side, also one there on the opposite side, and that will attach the floor to the chassis. Now I'm going to do this off camera, guys, because I've got to take care of all this, and I'm going to strategically put it onto my lap, my legs, and try not to damage anything. Then I'll come back as soon as I screws it in. Wow, guys, that took me about half hour, maybe just longer, to fit this to the chassis. I'm holding this freehand just so I can show you close up. Here you've got wires you have to feed through underneath so you can push this down and attach it to the chassis. You might have to fiddle with, as you'll know if you've done this build or you're doing it, there's a loom of wiring under there, and you just got to play with it, guys. Move it out of the way so this can sit on the transmission axle. Nightmare. And at the same time, I'd lost these wires that come off because it was upside down. The seat was going everywhere. I was worried about the ejector seat. But I've done it in the end, guys. I'm glad I did it off camera. That would have been another half hour on the video. Just to bear in mind as well, at the front here, you've got some wires coming out the front, and on the other side, just here, just make sure you're not pinching any of those as you put the interior onto your chassis. And also, just in there, just zoom in, you can see just there, that's where your steering column's got to be. That's got to be inside with the column going down to the front of the car, if that makes sense, before you attach it all. And you can see the steering works, because if not, and you go through all that, putting that on, you have to take it all off again. And another tip, I would attach from underneath the PS05 screws, I would attach the back ones first, because there's more pressure got to be put because of the wiring under here, and then attach the front ones and you should be okay. But that is it for now. I've got that put on. I'm gonna have a break, so by the time you see this video, you have 2 days, guys. That's how a bit stressful it's been, and in this issue. I did say it was going to be a big issue. But next, and I think the last part of this video, we're going to be applying the rear seating. So it's going to be looking like that at the end of today's video, guys. By the time you're watching this, that's how it's going to look. Brilliant. So, by magic, we'll crack on and detach the rear seat. So yeah, it's day 2, guys. You're not going to notice this on the video, but basically I've had a night, a little bit of a breather. It's a bit of a busy issue, this video is, so I thought I'd have a night of just chilling and then get on with the last part of this video, which is now putting the rear seats in. So what we're going to do, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pins. They're going to go in those 4 holes there, and this bit here's got to go over the transmission well, if that's what you're going to call it, the centerpiece of the car basically. So that'll just pop over there like that, and it should all just slot in. And now again, yes, we're going to turn the vehicle over and apply 4 PS05 screws. So yeah, I've turned it over, guys. I'm not enjoying this part at all. Keep turning this vehicle over. I do not want to do any damage to it. Carefully get that screw again, put that in. See, I'm just being very careful, guys, just to not damage anything on the top of the vehicle or underneath, if you want to put it that way, like the steering wheel, etc., even the seats. I don't want to put any dents in those, so I'm going to be as quick as I can. Screw this rear seat in. But yeah, this has been a really busy issue, guys, but it's been a fun one. I've enjoyed it. So these are all nice and tight in there. The rear seat is in. I've just got to give that some persuasion to get the screw. There we go. So that takes us all the way to instruction 10 done and dusted. We're going to move on to instruction 11. So I'm going to flip the car back over and we'll see what I've got to get done. Now you can see the rear seats are all done, nice and tight. And do you know what, guys, as we apply more to this model, it's seeming to get more rigid, if that makes sense. It's like more tougher and stiffer. It seemed a bit flimsy at first at some points, but as I say, now I'm putting all these seats in, etc., it doesn't all seem to be getting more stronger, which is a good thing. So I was a bit worried about how flimsy the chassis was, but it seems to be getting a lot stronger. But anyway, moving on to instruction 11, we need 2 PS05 screws, and we're going to secure the dial housing, which is just there, that silver bit there. So there's the first one. Carefully screw that in. Might have to hold your dashboard to give it a bit of sturdiness. That's one in. It's got to get another PS05 screw. This is coming on leaps and bounds, guys. I'm absolutely loving this build, especially now it's looking more like a vehicle, if that makes sense. Wait for this. I wish the build away, but yeah, really wait for this. So let's just tighten these 2 PS05 screws, and then we'll move swiftly on to instruction 12. Right, so now I'm putting a DS20 screw in the steering shaft. So just carefully just put that in the little hole there, and that will secure your steering wheel to the steering shaft, like so. It's just right down there. And now, let's have a look at this steering. Yes, look at that. Beautiful. The wheels, the steering wheel is now moving, guys. So that's the end of instruction 12. What we're going to do now is connect 2 number 10 wires, which is just under the arches. So it's alright, guys, I keep standing up, sitting down, but I think it might be best if I stand up and do this bit. So what we need to do is get 2 number 10 wires, which one is here. We should have another number 10 the other side, which is, let me look. Well, I hope I have number 10 this side. Yeah, so you've got number 10 here and number 10 here. These two need to be connected. These will only go in one way, but it's got a little lip there, if you see on the top. That'll go into the little rectangular shape. Like so. I always worry about messing with wires. I love it, but if you break any of these connections or they're not connecting right, you're going to have a whole lot of problem when you come to check the electrics. That's instruction 13 done. These two number 10 wires are now connected. And now what we're going to do is tuck these behind the firewall. So I think we've just got to feed them into there behind the firewall. Now for instruction 15, we're going to take one of these little wire clips and take wires 3, 5, 7 and 8. Basically feed those up the top here. I'm just going to double check the instruction that I've got to put them in the right way basically. So yeah, what we'll do is put them like that, and the clip will just go on those two little pins just there. Now to me this is bad, guys. This is what they want us to do. I thought we was going to be using one of these tie clips. We're not. If you just look there, you can see like a little plastic indent to the firewall. We've got to prise that down and put the wires in one by one. Now this could end up going bad. It could snap, and if that happens, we're going to have hanging wires. So see how this goes. So what I'm going to do is use my nail if I can, not to put too much pressure on. And I'm going to have to push those wires through, or I might be able to use a screwdriver, being careful not to snap it too much or pull it back too much, should I say, to snap it. It'd be good if it works, which that one's gone in alright. Okay, might work. Hang on, let's get this one in. Yeah, I'm standing up at the minute, guys, leaning over this model, putting blood, well not blood, but sweat and tears into it. I won't do nothing less, guys. Oh, and what a week it's been, guys. Very sad week. Fans of both, but let me take this moment to share my condolences and my thoughts out to Ozzy Osbourne and obviously the immortal Hulk Hogan. Massive fan of them both. It's been a very sad week, guys, this week. A lot been going on, a lot happening, and I do hope you're all doing alright out there, guys. Really do. But yeah, just moving on, guys. It's just a very sad week this week. You realise how big these superstars are when they pass away like that. Right, so I've got those wires in. Now we've got to move on to instruction 16. What we're ready for this is, let me just pull this back a minute. We've got another clip here. What we're going to do is prise these wires under there again. There's one. Bear with me if you can't see, I will show you. I like to keep the camera running as much as I can so you can see what I'm doing. The technique I'm using. There you go, one more. There you go, and they've got to be lifted up like that. Let me just try and show you a better view of that. There you go. Right, so pop back out and put that back in there, innit? Yeah, that's how that's looking. If I just turn this the other way around, there you go. Basically in a little clip thing there, and just come around, and they need to be facing upwards like that. I would have thought these are for the headlamps, etc. So let's move on swiftly to instruction 17. Now we go to the same again, guys. Put them in this clip here and one at the front, and we've got to take up these 3 wires, which is 2, 4 and 6. So there we go. Go again. I get a little bit of help with this screwdriver just to prise that back. Carefully then just put the wire behind the clip. There you go, that's that one done. Same again. Trust me, once you get into doing it this way, it's a pretty good way of doing it, to be fair. Pretty nice and bullet point simple. You can see that's so easy to do. Now you just pull the wires round so they're nice and flush and tight. Bring the build down and then do the same with this clip here. Tuck them under there. Some might need a bit more persuasion than others. No, that one don't want to go in. There we go, beautiful. That takes us all the way to the end of instruction 18. And there you go, the wires are nice and neat. Okay, so the last few instructions, guys, are pretty simple. What we need to do is take these clips, which we've got to use this time, and we're going to be feeding the wire between these little nipples here, basically connecting them like so. After obviously putting, as you can see, underneath the axle nice and neat. Now what you do is just push that on there like that, just being careful not to push on your model because you don't want to damage any of the parts underneath. You should hear it like click once it's in the right position. There you go, that's that one done. Another one on there. So yeah, you want those wires nice and flush under the axle, all clipped in there. And then we're going to find the last clip, which is just hiding here. We'll be putting that here, and we need to get wire 14, guide that over there, and then clip it down with the last clip you've got. You just basically just pushing them over these little pins on the chassis, and that is it, guys. I know it's been a big video, it's been a beautiful video. I've loved it, I've loved every second of it. That's all the wires done. Let's flip this back over. Well, it's been a long one, but thanks for watching. I hope you've got to the end, guys. Come back next time for more db5. Take care, guys. See you later. And that is it for this week's build of the db5 from Agora models. What a busy issue, guys. What a productive video and issue this has been. We have now applied the engine to the chassis, the surround of the engine, wall mount, etc., seating, a lot. It's been busy, it's been brilliant, and this thing, what's just sitting down here now, is ready to go up there next to the Fast and Furious Toyota Supra and take pride of place as we continue along. I mean, here you can see that I've got the bonnet and a door. There's a space there. You'll see why in a couple of, maybe a couple of videos, a couple of weeks, depending on how I get this studio done. There's something I've got planned to put here, guys. Say no more. So yeah, just watch this space, but that's why I've got a space there and I've moved it up to the top. I'm doing a little bit of a move around. The Titanic might be being pushed that way, maybe. I'm just moving things around, that's all. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Brilliant issue today. Do hope you enjoyed. Remember to give us a big like. We'd really appreciate that. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. See ya. Peace.